For a long time, my goal in real estate was simple: close more deals, get more clients, increase my production, grow my income. And for years, that's exactly what I focused on. Every year, I wanted to sell more homes than the year before. Every year, I wanted to improve my systems. Every year, I wanted to become a better producer. And thankfully, the business grew. But eventually, I ran into a problem that I think a lot of successful agents eventually face. The more successful I became, the more I realized my business depended entirely on me. If I worked harder, the business grew. If I slowed down, the business slowed down. And that's when I started asking a different question. Instead of asking, how can I sell more homes? I started asking, how can I create more impact without everything depending on me? And that question completely changed the direction of my career. In this video, I want to share why I stopped thinking like a top producer, why leverage became more important than production, how my perspective on growth changed, and what I learned transitioning from being focused on personal production to building something much bigger. And if you're an agent who wants to learn more about building a scalable business, leadership, or how we built our organization, I'll put my calendar link below where you can schedule a Zoom meeting with me. When I got into real estate, I wasn't thinking about leadership. I wasn't thinking about teams. I wasn't thinking about leverage. I was thinking about survival, like most agents. I was trying to figure out, how do I get clients? How do I close deals? How do I create income? And honestly, that's exactly where your focus should be in the beginning. Because before you can lead others, you have to learn how to produce yourself. You need to understand lead generation, follow-up, conversions, client management, and time management. Those skills matter. And over time, I became obsessed with getting better. I wanted to improve every part of my business. I wanted to become a better agent. And eventually production started growing. More clients, more transactions, more opportunities. From the outside, everything looked great. But something interesting started to happen. The more successful I became, the busier I became. Every new deal required more attention. Every new client required more communication. Every new transaction added more responsibility. And what I realized was I hadn't actually built freedom, I had built a bigger job. Now, before anybody misunderstands me, I wasn't unhappy. I loved helping clients. I loved real estate, but I started realizing there was a ceiling because there are only so many hours in a day, so many appointments you can attend, so many clients you can personally serve. At some point, growth becomes difficult when everything depends on one person. And that's where many top producers get stuck. They become incredibly successful, but they also become the bottleneck. The business can't grow unless they do more. And eventually that's not a scalable model. One of the biggest mindset shifts I ever had was this: hard work is important, but leverage changes everything. Let me explain. Most agents think growth comes from working harder, doing more, taking on more responsibility. But eventually I realized the biggest businesses aren't built by one person doing everything. They're built through leverage. Leverage through systems, technology, collaboration, and people. That realization changed everything for me because now I wasn't thinking, how many deals can I close? I was asking, how much impact can I create? And those are very different questions. The more I studied successful businesses, the more I realized they all had one thing in common: leverage. Nobody builds something great completely alone. At some point, you need people, you need systems, you need collaboration. And that's one of the reasons I became so attracted to the idea of building through leverage. Because I started realizing something. There are people who are better than me at certain things. Some people are incredible trainers, recruiters, operators, marketers, and administrators. Why would I try to become world-class at everything? Instead, what if I could build alongside talented people who brought different strengths to the table? That's when my thinking started evolving. One of the things I appreciate about the model we have today is that it encourages collaboration. Instead of every person trying to build everything by themselves, you can leverage relationships, partnerships, shared expertise, and shared leadership. And that's important because one of the biggest misconceptions about being a team leader is this: people think leadership means doing everything. It doesn't. In fact, great leadership is often the opposite. Great leadership is creating an environment where other people can lead too, where responsibility is shared, where strengths are leveraged, where people can contribute at a high level. That's what creates scalability. And honestly, that's a much more exciting vision than simply trying to close one more deal yourself. The biggest lesson I learned is this: you can grow through effort, but you scale through leverage. Those are two different things. Effort helped me become a top producer. Leverage helped me become a builder. And once I understood that, my focus shifted completely. I stopped asking, how much can I personally accomplish? I started asking, how many people can we help succeed together? Because that's a much bigger game. What surprised me most is how rewarding this transition has been. Seeing an agent close their first deal, build confidence, grow their business, and change their life. That's powerful because now the impact extends beyond your own production. Now you're helping other people create success. And that's become one of the most fulfilling parts of my career. Looking back, I'm grateful for the years I've spent focused on production because those experiences taught me the fundamentals, but I'm equally grateful for the moment my thinking changed. The moment I realized that growth isn't always about doing more yourself. Sometimes it's about creating leverage. Sometimes it's about building systems. Sometimes it's about bringing people together around a common vision. And sometimes it's about helping others accomplish things they never thought were possible. That's ultimately why I stopped thinking like a top producer and started thinking like a builder. If you're an agent who wants to build something bigger than just your own production, if you want to learn more about leverage, leadership, and scalability, how we've built our organization, click the account link below and schedule a Zoom meeting with me. I'd love to learn more about you and your goals and see if I can help. If you got value from this video, make sure to subscribe because every week I share real world strategies to help agents build a business that creates both growth and long-term opportunity.